बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम। कैसे हैं आप? दिस इज़ लेक्चर नंबर 5. लेट्स स्टार्ट. So first we take a review of previous lecture. In last lecture we discussed graphical methods of data presentations, and in particular we discussed graphs for quantitative data, and in the graphs for quantitative data we discussed how to make histograms, and then frequency polygon, and then cumulative frequency polygon, which is also called frequency ogive. In addition, we discussed frequency distributions in practice, and in particular we discussed symmetric distributions and asymmetric distributions. And then we discussed how we can identify the distribution by drawing a smooth curve. So that was all about last lecture. So let us discuss the objectives of today's lecture. So in today's lecture I will introduce you to Microsoft Excel software package. So we will also discuss the basic overview of Microsoft Excel, and then we will discuss how to construct frequency tables in Microsoft Excel, which we constructed in our previous lectures. We will also discuss how to construct graphs using MS Excel, and in particular we will discuss how to construct bar chart, and the types of bar charts are simple bar chart, multiple bar charts, and component bar chart. We will also discuss how to construct pie chart. So remember that bar chart and pie chart, they both are used to draw the graph of qualitative data, whereas the histogram, it is used for the quantitative data. So we will discuss the histogram as well. So in addition we will discuss how to use different add-ins. Add-ins are actually small programs which we can use in conjunction with Excel to perform different functions quite easily. So we will discuss how we can activate different add-ins in Microsoft Excel and how we can use them. In particular, we will discuss data analysis Excel add-in, which is mostly used by the statisticians, and it can solve many functions, it can perform many functions in statistics. So let's start. So first I will give you a brief overview of Microsoft Excel software package, the introduction to the basic environment, basic windows, and the overall view of the Excel. So let us start Microsoft Excel program. In order to start Microsoft Excel, go to Start button. So here is the Start button, click on this. So next go to All Programs. And here is Microsoft Office, and then click on Microsoft Office Excel 2007. So this is Microsoft Excel basic window. So here at the top we have the title bar. So currently the title is book 1. This is the default name. So if we save this file with any other suitable name, then that particular name will appear here instead of book 1. So the default name is book 1. So the first one, title bar, where title appears. So current title is book 1. So below the title bar we have different tabs. Each of the tab contains different options. So currently we are at the home tab. So next we have insert tab, page layout, formulas, data, review, view, add-ins, themes, etc. So as far as home tab is concerned, so here we have different options. So this is font size. Here we have font names. We can change the fonts. This is for bold, italic, underline. the usual symbols. So, and then in the insert tab we can create different types of charts. So here is the group chart containing different options, columns, line plot, pie charts, bar charts, area graphs, or scatter plots and other charts as well. So if we want to insert a table, we can use these options. If you want to insert picture, shapes, etc., you can use these options. If you want to add a signature line, if you want to add symbols, word art, header, footer, etc., you can use these options. If you want to add any type of hyperlink, you can use this option. Then if you want to adjust the page layout, you need to use this page layout tab. There are different options: margins, orientation, size, print area, background, if you want to set any suitable background, and you can change the themes, colors, etc. Similarly, if you want to enter formula, so here is the function library. So there you can see that we have a number of functions: financial functions, recently used functions, and then text, date, time, and then logical functions. So we have a list of functions. So here you can see that we have mathematical functions and lookup and reference functions. So next we have data tab. If you want to sort your data, you need to use this option. If you want to filter some specific result, then you need to use this option. So if you want to carry out what if analysis, consolidation reports, etc., so you can use these options. If you want to group certain items or ungroup, if you want to find the subtotals, so you need to use these options. And then in the review tab, we can protect our sheet or protect book. We can add comments, we can check the spellings, etc. In the view tab, we can zoom, we can change the view, we can zoom in and zoom out, and then we can adjust the page layout as well. So headings, team, etc. So we can add different types of add-ins here in the add-ins tab. So this is overall basic overview of these tabs. So now we discuss this area. So here you can see that this workbook 1, it contains 3 sheets: sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3. So by default there are 3 sheets in an Excel book. So if you want to add more sheets, so then you can click on this button. This will add the additional sheets. So here sheet 4, sheet 5, sheet 6, and so on. You can add as many sheets as you want to perform different types of functions in each of the sheets. So here below we have the layout normal, and these are called the scroll bars. So you can scroll it in horizontal direction, you can scroll it in vertical direction by using this another scroll bar, which is called vertical scroll bar. So this one is vertical scroll bar, and here we have the horizontal scroll bar. We can also change the view by zooming in and zooming out. Click the plus button. So you can see that this is we are zooming in. So our font size are now it got increased, and if we press the minus sign, you can see that the current zoom size is 130%, 120%, 110%, and so on. So you can zoom in, zoom out according to your own requirement. So in the main workbook named book 1, we have by default 3 sheets, but currently I have added 4 more sheets just for explanatory purpose. So as far as this middle environment is concerned, so you can see that here we have different columns. So first column is labeled as column A, then we have column B, column C, D, E, F, G, H, and so on. Similarly, in the horizontal direction we have rows. So this is row number 1, and next we have row number 2, row number 3, row number 4, 5, 6, so on. Next, look at this black cell. This black cell indicates the position of the keyboard, or it gives you the position where you can write anything in the Excel sheet. So this black box, it is, you can see that it is the intersection of column C and row 5. So this is called a cell. So currently we are in cell C5. So the name of this cell is here represented here C5. So this is called the name box. So name box indicates the names of a particular cell. So currently we are in cell C5. So if we go to this cell, so it is in column E and row number 2. So this means that we are in cell E2. So this name box indicates the cell name. So remember that cell names are very important to learn. So in this case we have in column C row number 7, so it means we are in cell number 7. If you will write anything, suppose letter 4, that letter will appear in this particular cell. So if you want to write in cell B4, so click on this column B and row number 4, this is cell number B4. You can write any number, let's say 56. So I'm zooming a bit in order to see that, in order to get a better look of these numbers. So let us do simple addition and multiplication in this Excel spreadsheet. So here suppose I want to add two numbers 4 and 5. So suppose I have two numbers 4 and 5. So I have typed the number 4 in cell E2, column E, row number 2. So this 4 is located in cell E2 and the second number 5 is located in cell F2. Suppose we want to find the sum of these two numbers, or we want to add these two numbers. In order to add these two numbers, there are several ways to add these two numbers. So I am explaining some of them and the most convenient ways I am going to explain. So here are the two numbers which we want to add. Suppose we want to get the result in cell F4. So suppose we want to get the result here. So go to this particular cell in which you want to put the result, and then type an equal sign from the keyboard, and then type number 4 and put a plus sign and then the number 5. So 4 plus 5. So just start by an equal sign. If we put an equal sign, it means we are telling Excel that we want to use certain type of formula, and then write the first number, then put plus sign and then write the second number. So this will add these two numbers. So just press enter, so you will get the result. So before pressing enter, note that this is called formula bar. So even you can type whatever you will type here, that will appear in the formula bar as well. Even you can type directly into the formula bar. So you can press enter to get the result, or you can press this tick mark sign to get the results. If you want to discard, you can click on this cancel button, or as far as keyboard is concerned, you can press the escape key. So 4 plus 5, now I am going to press enter. So here is the result, 4 plus 5 equals 9. So if you want to see what is written here, so you can double click on this cell, so you will see the numbers which have been entered here. Or alternatively, you can simply look at the formula bar. So the formula bar will show the actual ingredients which are available in this particular cell. So suppose you want to subtract two numbers. So, and you want to display the result in cell F5. So in that case, simply put an equal sign and just write number 5 minus 4. So 5 minus 4, you will get 1. So press enter. So here is the result. So if you want to multiply the same two numbers, so just put a asterisk in between. So 4 asterisk 5, and remember that you have to start this formula by putting an equal sign. So just press an equal sign, put an equal sign, and then number 4 asterisk 5. So 4 5 the 20. Similarly, if you want to divide two numbers, suppose 4 divided by 2. So for division, we usually use this slash. So 4/2, you will get 2. The result is 2. So this is how to do simple arithmetics. So similarly, suppose you want to take the power of 2. Suppose 2 raised to power 3. You want to calculate this number in Excel. So put an equal sign and then the number 2 and then its power. Before writing the power, just put this cap sign. This is called the caret sign. So 2, then caret sign, and then 3. So 2 raised to power 3. So 2 raised to power 3 means 2 multiply with 2 multiply with 2. So multiply the 2 3 times. So 2 into 2 into 2. So 2 to the 4, 4 to the 8. So the result should be 8. So press enter, you will get the required result. So similarly, if you want to get square of 4, so 4, then caret sign or cap sign, and then 2. So 4 raised to power 2. It is 4 multiplied with itself. 4 into 4, 16. So press enter, you will get the required result. Now suppose you want to calculate 4 raised to power minus 2. So instead of power plus 2, suppose you want to get 4 raised to power minus 2. So in that case, just press 4, then cap sign, and then since the power is a negative number, then put minus 2 within a parenthesis. So 4, then cap sign, and then the required power. Since the exponent or power is with negative sign, so use the parenthesis. These small brackets are called parentheses. So 4 raised to power minus 2. So it will be 1 divided by 4 raised to power plus 2. So 1 divided by 16. So just press enter. 1 divided by 16 is 0.0625. So this is how to do simple arithmetic in Microsoft Excel. So here you can see that I have used simple numbers. For example, 4 plus 5. But suppose instead of adding these two numbers, you want to add a list of numbers. Suppose there are 10 numbers or there are 5 numbers, so which you want to add. So suppose you want to add number 1, 2, 3, 4 and number 5. So you can see that we have to type each time this plus sign in between the numbers. So this is quite difficult or quite time consuming job if the numbers are very large in magnitude, or if the numbers are with several decimal points, or if we have suppose hundreds of numbers which we want to add. So instead of using this method, we can use certain types of results which are available in Excel. So that's why since we are doing statistics, so in this course I'm going to introduce Microsoft Excel as well, which will make our job very easy. So if you want to add 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so just this is one way which is not actually the best, which is not the efficient way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just press enter. So the result is 15. So one way we can use the cell references to add these two numbers. So suppose here we have two numbers, one is number 4, one is number 5. In order to add these two numbers, we can use 4 plus 5 with an equal sign at the start. So another way to find the same sum, yani the sum of number 4 and 5, is to use the cell references. So in order to get the result here in F2 using the cell references, put an equal sign and then click on the cell in which your first number is located, which you want to add to some second number. So here in this case we want to add number 4 with number 5. So instead of typing number 4, I will use its cell reference or cell address. So here number 4 is located in E2. So just put an equal sign and the cell address or cell name, and then put a plus sign and then cell name of the second number. This means we are telling Excel to add the cell E2 and F2. Now E2 contains 4 and F2 contains 5. So E2 plus F2 will give us 4 plus 5, that is 9. So just press enter, you will get the same result. So suppose you want to add 5 numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So one way to find the sum is write the first number, then plus second number, then again plus sign, next third number, and then fourth, and then last number. So you can see that I have used the cell references. So J2 plus J3 plus J4 plus J5 and J6. Press enter, you will get the result 15. So again, this is very burdensome or time consuming job. And suppose instead of these numbers, suppose we have these numbers 0, 0, 2, and next 1.234, next 2.4356, next 1.989012, next suppose 2.3456. So we want to add these two numbers. So if you type each number one by one, you can see that it is quite difficult and time consuming job. So 2.4356, and so suppose we have these 5 numbers, we want to find their sum. So you can see that typing each number is quite difficult job, 1.234. So it is very time consuming. The alternative method is to use the cell addresses. So K2 plus K3 plus K4, K5, K6, and pressing the enter. So you will get the required result. Again, this is comparatively efficient way by using the cell addresses, but again, if suppose the numbers which we want to add, they are around more than 100 or in thousands. So again, using this method will take a lot of time. So in that case, we use the built-in functions of Microsoft Excel. So suppose we want to add these numbers. So in order to add these numbers, I am using one built-in function which is called the sum function. So just press an equal sign and then type sum, and here select all the numbers or the list of numbers which you want to add. So here you can see that I am telling Excel that sum the numbers and then within parentheses the range of numbers. So the first number in the list is J2 and last one is J6, and this colon sign, it indicates that this is start and this is end number, and this colon sign is the range operator. So this means that we are telling Excel that find the sum of the cells starting from J2 to J6. So J2 to J6, these numbers will be added together, and here you can see the blue border, it is indicating that these numbers have been selected here. So this is the most efficient way of finding the sum. So J2 to J6. So J2 to J6 will be added together. Then press enter. So here is the sum. Similarly, if you want to add these 5 numbers, so you can use the same sum functions. So just put an equal sign and then the sum function, and here select the numbers. So K2 to K6. So you can select the numbers with the help of mouse, with the help of keyboard, or even you can type the range by using the keyboard. So here this command equal sum K2 to K6, this will find the sum of numbers located in cell K2 and up to K6. So press enter, you will get the sum. You can see that the sum is same as this one and this sum is same as this one. So this is how to find the simple basic arithmetic and using the Excel built-in function. And suppose you want to find the minimum number in this list. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you want to find the minimum number in this list. So in that case, in order to find the minimum number, you can use the min function, which is the Excel built-in function. So let me highlight these numbers. So I'm going to change the font color. So suppose we want to find the minimum of these 5 numbers. So there is one built-in function which is the min function. So put an equal sign and then type min and then select these numbers. Remember that you can select this list of 5 numbers using the mouse. So click on first number and then keep pressing the left mouse button down and then drag it to the required range. So J2 to J6. This is one way. Alternatively, you can directly type from your keyboard. So J2, then put colon sign and then J6. So close the parenthesis. You can type the letters in small letters or capital letters. This Excel is case insensitive. So you can either type this letter J using capital letters or using the small English alphabets. So it will perform the same function. Similarly, you can write this min using capital letters or using small letters. So Excel is case insensitive. So you can write the commands in either way. So this will add the numbers which are in this range, where the range starts from J2 to and it goes to J6. Press enter. So the minimum number in this list is, we already know that the minimum number is 1. So this min function, it returned the number 1. Similarly, if you want to find the maximum number, so the max is the command. So max J2 to J6. So press enter, the answer should be 5. So here is the result. So minimum number, the maximum number, so in the sum function. So next we discuss how to enter a sequence of numbers using auto list. So let me scroll to the right side. Suppose we want to enter a sequence of 10 numbers. So we can do this by typing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So this is one way to do this. But actually you can see that again this is very time consuming. So using Excel we can use the auto list option in order to generate the same 10 numbers. So in order to generate the same 10 numbers, write the first two numbers of the sequence which are 1 and 2 and then select both numbers. So you can select both numbers by using the mouse, or go to the first number and then press shift from the keyboard and press the down arrow from the keyboard. So you can see that both numbers have been selected. So press shift and press the down arrow from the keyboard. So both numbers will be selected. Or alternatively, go to the first number, press the left mouse button, keep pressing it down and then drag it to the next number 2. So you can see that both numbers have been selected. So now we want to generate the list of 10 numbers using the same difference. The difference between the two numbers is 1. So for this, take your mouse cursor. This big plus sign is the mouse cursor. So take the mouse cursor to the bottom right corner of this black box. So you can see that when you will take the mouse cursor to bottom right corner, so this flat big flat sign, it changes to small plus sign. So when the mouse position, mouse cursor changes from big flat sign to this small plus sign, so it means you are on at the right spot. So press the left mouse button, keep pressing it down and drag it downward. So you can see that Excel tooltip is showing the next number in the sequence. So next number is 3. So keep pressing the left mouse button down and drag it further. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can go up to wherever you want. Suppose we want to generate this list of 10 numbers. So we will move to 10. So even if you want to go beyond 10, you can drag it further as well. So let me do it to 10. So here is how we can generate a sequence of 10 numbers using auto list. So next is how to copy this list of 10 numbers and how to move it. So in order to move this number list, so just take your mouse cursor to any of the borders. So this is the border. So you can see that currently the mouse cursor is looking like a flat plus sign. So take the mouse cursor to right border. You can see that it is changed to heavy plus sign with pointed arrows on all sides. Or even if you take it to upper border, so you can see the sign of mouse cursor is changing. Similarly on the left border and the bottom border. So suppose you want to move this list from column P to column R. So take the mouse cursor to right border or any of the borders. Press the left mouse button, keep pressing it down and move it to any required position. So you can see that the highlighted boundary is indicating the destination position. So suppose you want to move this list to this column R in the same position in R2 to R11, which is being displayed by the Excel tooltip. So now leave the mouse left button. So you can see that the list is moved from column P to column R. So similarly, suppose you want to copy the same numbers. So in order to copy these numbers, first select these numbers and then right click, copy, and suppose you want to copy them to cell to column T and right click and select paste. This is one way. Alternatively, suppose you want to copy these numbers, so simply select all the numbers and then take your mouse cursor to any of the borders and press the control button from the keyboard. So when you will press the control button, you can see that this cursor is changed and we are seeing a small plus sign with this mouse pointer. So this plus sign is indicating that it will make a copy of the same number. So currently we are seeing a plus sign, but just press the control button from the keyboard, so you can see that we are seeing a plus sign. And now click the left mouse button, keep pressing it down and drag it to suppose P2 to P11. So suppose we want to copy the numbers in from R2 to R11 to P2 to P11. So, and now leave the mouse button. So here you can see that we have the list in R as well as in column P. So this is how to move the list and how to copy the list, and more importantly how to create an auto list. So suppose you want to create a sequence of numbers 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. So in that case, write the first two numbers of the sequence and take your mouse cursor to bottom right corner and then drag it to any required position. So similarly, suppose you want to copy 0.2 and then 0.4 and so on in the horizontal direction. So just type the first two numbers of the sequence and then take your mouse cursor to bottom right corner and drag it horizontally. So you will see the resultant list. So this is how to generate an auto list, how to copy the list, and how to move the list from one position to another position. So next we discuss using absolute and relative cell references. Suppose we have marks of students in quiz 1 and quiz 2. So I am just entering a hypothetical data. So marks in quiz 1, so I am labeling it as Q1. So suppose the first student obtained 2 marks out of 5, second 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 1 out of 5, 3 out of 5. So similarly we have marks in quiz 2. So 3 marks, 5, 3, 4, 3. So here is the data. So we have marks of the students in quiz 1 and quiz 2. So we want to find total marks. So in order to find the total marks, just put an equal sign and then this first number, which is located in column AG and row number 3. So we will type AG3 and then plus sign AH3. So column AH and row number 3. So AG3 and AH3. So these two numbers will be added. So 2 plus 3, total marks obtained by student 1 in both quizzes, total marks obtained are 5. So similarly, next we have AG4 and AH4. Press enter. Similarly, AG5, AH5, and next we have AG6, AH6, next we have AG7, AH7. So you can see that we can find the total marks. But again, if we have, instead of 5 students, suppose we have 100 students in a class. So this method is quite time consuming. So in order to save time, instead of doing this, I am going to delete it. So just type the formula in the first cell. So AG3 plus AH4, take your mouse cursor to bottom right corner. So you can see that it is changed to small plus sign. Press the left mouse button, keep pressing it down and drag it to the required cells. So the same formula will be copied down. So you can see that this 4 plus 5, the result is 9, 5 plus 3, result is 8, 1 plus 4, result is 5, then 3 plus 3, result is 6. So now let us observe this formula in detail. So I have written formula only in the first cell, AG3 plus AH4, and then I copied this formula downward. So you can see that in this first cell we have AG3 and AH3. When I copied this formula downward, so AG3 changes to AG4 automatically, and similarly AH3 changes to AH4. Further copying it down, AH4 changes to AH5 and AG4 changes to AG5. And similarly AG5 changes to AG6, AH5 changes to AH6, and AG6 changes to AG7, and AH6 changes to AH7. So you can see that the row numbers from cell row number 3, it automatically adjusted, it automatically changed from 3 to 4, 5, 6 and 7. So when you copy the formula downward, so this is called the relative cell reference, that the formula is adjusted relative to cell positions. So AG3 changes to AG4 and AH3 changes to AH4 and so on. So this is the concept of relative cell reference, that the formula got adjusted relative to the corresponding cells. So here in this cell AG3H4, so this formula was used for these two cells. When I copied this formula downward here, so this formula is used for the next two cells. So similarly the formula got adjusted for the next two cells. So this is the concept of relative cell references. So let us discuss the concept of absolute cell reference. So suppose we want to add a bonus marks. Suppose the bonus marks can be for class participation or doing certain type of difficult question in class. So suppose the teacher wants to give bonus marks, suppose 5 marks to all the students. So one way to do this is to type number 5 in each of the cells and calculating the revised total. So revised total will be this previous total plus the bonus marks. So previous total is located in AI3 and the bonus marks for the student 1, they are located in AG3. So press enter. So 5 plus 5, the result is 10. Take your mouse cursor to bottom right corner, press the left mouse button, keep pressing it down and drag it to the desired cell. So here 6 plus 5, the result is 11, 5 plus 5, 10, 8 plus 5, 13, 9 plus 5, 14. So instead of using this strategy by adding number 5 to each of the total marks, we can use the concept of absolute cell references to do the same thing. Let us discuss the concept of absolute cell references. So suppose you want to add the bonus marks and you don't want to create this additional column. So here suppose we have the bonus marks 5. So we know this information, so we want to add this 5 number to each of the total marks. So one way to do this is suppose revised total is to select this first cell AI3 and then the actual number 5. Press enter and then copy it down. So 9 plus 5 and then 13, 8 plus 5 and then 5 plus 5 and then 6 plus 5. But here you can see that I have not used the cell references for the number 5. Just put an equal sign, select the total marks and then plus sign, select this cell address of bonus marks which is AN1. So AI3 plus AN1. Press enter and next copy it down one time. So here you can see that this 9 is the total marks. So here we get 9. But double click it, so you can see that 9, and here A3 changes to AI3 changes to AI4, AN1 changes to AN2. So AN1 contains the bonus marks, but AN2 is the blank cell. So it means, so I have changed the width in order to make this idea more clear. So you can see that in the first cell I have added AI3 with AN1. So when you copy this formula downward, so you can see that AI3 changes to AI4 and AN1 changes to AN2. So here is the idea of relative cell references. But you can see that AN2 contains no digit, or it is a blank cell. So blank cell in Excel means the 0 digit. So 9 plus 0, the answer is 9. So it means bonus marks has not been added for the second students. But since we want to add the bonus marks to the total of each student, so it means we need to adjust this formula. So we can adjust it using the concept of absolute cell references. So in other words, we want to fix this cell, whereas we want to change this cell from AI3 to AI4, AI5, but we want to keep this AN1 throughout same. So in order to fix this cell, so this is column heading AN and 1 is the row heading. So before the column heading put $sign. So you can type the $sign by pressing the shift button from the keyboard and then the letter 4. So here is the $sign. So dollar before column heading and then the dollar before the row heading. So putting the $signs means we are fixing this cell. So you can see that AI3 plus AN1, but we have used the $signs. So this $sign will fix this AN1. So when you will copy this formula downward, so AI3 will change to AI4, but AN1 will remain same. It will not change to AN2. So because we want to add this same cell to each of these numbers, so it means we want to fix it. So in order to fix it, I have used the $sign. So fixing a cell is called absolute cell references. So I have used the cell address or cell reference of AN1, but I have fixed it. So fixing means absolute. Whereas in this case AI3 will change to AI4 and then AI5, AI6, AI7. So it means we are using relative cell references as well as far as this AI columns are column is concerned. So here we have used the idea of absolute cell references as well as the fixed cell references. So absolute mean to fix, relative mean the cell which keeps on changing. So now drag it downward, so you can see that AN1 remains same due to $signs and then A3 changes to AI4. And similarly copy it down, so you can see that the same number AN1 is being added to AI3, AI4 and now AI5. So this is how to use absolute and relative cell references. So next we learn how to construct frequency tables in Microsoft Excel. So in our previous lectures we discussed how to construct frequency distributions for quantitative data, and in quantitative data we discussed how to construct frequency distribution for the discrete data and for the continuous data, or it is also called grouped frequency distribution. And then we discussed how to construct frequency distribution for qualitative data. So now I am going to explain how to construct frequency distribution in MS Excel. So in the lecture of constructing frequency distributions, we discussed how to construct frequency distribution of discrete data, and there we considered this example, number of children in 20 families. So in first family there are 2 children, in second family there are 3 children, and in the 20th family there is 0 children. So construct ungrouped or discrete frequency distribution. So last time we constructed this frequency distributions. The first column is showing number of children, starts from 0 and go up to 5, and then number of families, the frequencies, 0 children, there is 1 family, so 1 children, there were 4 families, and 2 children, there are 6 families, and total is 20. So we want to construct the same frequency distribution in Microsoft Excel. So let us move to the MS Excel. So here we have the same data, number of children in Microsoft Excel. So first family has 2 children, second family has 3 children, and last family has 0 children. So we can see that there are 20 rows and 1 column, so it means we have 20 data points. So we want to construct a discrete frequency distribution of this data. So here first we will construct a column number of children, which starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here we will type number of families, which is also called the frequency. So in order to calculate the number of families having 0 children, so we will use the Excel built-in command, which is the COUNTIF command or COUNTIF function. So just put an equal sign and then type COUNTIF. So this COUNTIF command, it counts the number in a given range by following a certain criteria. So just put an equal sign, COUNTIF, then the parenthesis, and then this range is our full data range. So data range starts from B4 and it goes up to B23. So B4 to B23, this is our range, and here you can see that after range we have to put comma and then the criteria. So since we want to count the number of families having 0 children, so the criteria is 0. So if in this limit, in this range, we see a 0, that will be counted. So since we want to count the number of zeros in this list, so the number of zeros will be counted here. So close the parenthesis and press enter. So you can see that there is only 1 0 in this full list. So here it is. So we have used the COUNTIF command to calculate this frequency. And next here I am using COUNTIF, the same range, and then comma, and now criteria is 1. So press enter, and similarly we can use the same command COUNTIF, the range, and the criteria 2. Similarly we can copy the same command here in the subsequent cells, but here we have to change this criteria to 3, and here we have to change this criteria from 2 to 4 and then from 2 to 5. So you can see that there is only one family having 0 children, there are 4 families having 1 children, there are 6 families having 2 children, 4 families having 3 children, 2 families having 4 children, 3 families having 5 children. So here calculate the total. So just use the sum function. So sum of all these numbers E5 to E10, so this will find the total. So there are 20 families. So remember that this total, this must be equal to here total data points. So total data points are 20 and this total is also 20, so it means there is no error. So this is how to construct discrete frequency distribution. So this is called discrete frequency distribution. So this is how we can construct discrete frequency distribution. Even you can make a table as well by adding the borders. So this is how to construct discrete frequency distribution. Next we discuss how to construct grouped frequency distribution. So here we have the temperature data, the temperature of 20 winter days in Pakistan. So on first day the temperature was 24 degree centigrade, on second day 35 degree centigrade, and on last day we have 27 degree centigrade. So we want to construct a grouped frequency distribution of this data. So let us construct the grouped frequency distribution using Microsoft Excel. So here is the data, temperature data. So we have 20 data points. So we want to create a grouped frequency distribution of this data. So first we will find the minimum value and the maximum value in this data. So just type the minimum value. So in order to find the minimum value, just put an equal sign and use the min function. So we want to find the minimum value in this range, which starts from I3 and goes up to I22. Press enter, you will get the minimum value, and next maximum value. So in order to find maximum value, put equal sign and then max and then the same range. Press enter. So the minimum value in this data is 12 and the maximum value is 58. Next we find the range, which is the difference of these two values, maximum minus minimum. So put an equal sign, this maximum value K5 minus the minimum value K4. So K5 minus K4, press enter. So the range is 46. Next we find the number of classes. So note that the number of classes should be between 5 and 15. So suppose we want to construct 5 classes. So next we will find class width, which is obtained by dividing this range by the number of classes. So just put an equal sign and then range, which is located in K6, then slash for division, and then number of classes in K7. So range divided by number of classes, you will get class width. So K6 divided by K7. Press enter. So class width should be 9.2. So it should be greater than 9. So currently I am taking class width as 10. So the minimum number is 12. So it means I can start my classes from 11 to 20, then 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, 51 to 60. And note that the maximum value is 58. So it means we have to go up to 60. So in Excel, usually we construct the bins. So these classes are also called bins. So I'm typing here bins range. So in the bins, usually we write the upper class limits. So 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. This 20 mean 20 and less than 20. So this 30 means greater than 20 and up to 30. This 40 means greater than 30 and less than or equal to 40. This 50 means greater than 40 and less than or equal to 50. And similarly greater than 50 and less than or equal to 60. So this is our bin range. So once we have constructed the bin range, the next is to find the frequencies. So next column is our frequency. In order to find the frequencies, just select the full range and then put an equal sign and then type frequency, and the first argument in this is data array. Provide the data range which starts from I3 go up to I22, then the bin range. So bin range is from L11 to L15. So this is how to write the formula. First is data array, second is bin range, and press Control button from the keyboard, keep pressing it down, and then the shift button, keep pressing it down as well, and then the enter key. This is because we want to find the frequencies of each of these bin ranges. So each of these bin range. So in order to find the frequency for each of these bin range, we need to enter this frequency formula as an array or as a list. So in order to enter this formula as a list, so first we have to select all the cells which I have selected and then write the formula. Once the formula is written, now in order to get the result, press Control key, keep pressing it down, then the shift key, keep pressing it down as well, and then the enter key. So this will provide the frequencies of corresponding to each bin. So press enter. So here are the frequencies. So 20 and less than 20, there are 3 days. So having temperature 20 degree or less than 20 degree. There are 7 days having temperature greater than 20 but less than or equal to 30. Similarly, in 4 days the temperature was greater than 30 and less than or equal to 40. So this is how to construct a grouped frequency distribution. So later on you can change this bin range with the proper frequencies here. So you can find the total. So for this just use the sum function. So this sum is M11 to M15. So press enter, the sum is 20, and note that we have the data of 20 observations. So this is how to find the frequency distribution of grouped data. Now we discuss how to find the frequency distribution of qualitative data. We discussed earlier the political party affiliation example. So the response of 30 students about their political party affiliations are calculated as: the first student is in favor of PPP, second is in favor of PMLN, third is in favor of PMLQ, and fourth is in favor of PTI, and so on. So we have data collected from 30 students. So construct a frequency distribution. Last time we constructed the same frequency distribution using simple tally method. So currently I am going to construct the frequency distribution of this qualitative data in Microsoft Excel. So here is the data. So political party, PPP, PMLN, PMLQ, PTI, and so on. So in order to construct the frequency distribution of this qualitative data, first construct column parties, and next column frequency. So in order to find the frequencies, we will again use the COUNTIF command. So for this, type COUNTIF, then the range starts from Q5 and it goes up to Q34, and then after comma criteria. Since now we have alphabets instead of numerical numbers, so we need to write it in double quotes. So PPP should be in double quotes. But if we have numbers here, so then there is no need of double quotes. So press enter. So there are 5 students who are in favor of PPP. So copy this command downward and change this PPP to N. So 9 students are in favor of PMLN and change it to Q. So 6 students are in favor of PMLQ and last one is PTI. So 10 students are in favor of PTI. So this is how to construct frequency distribution of qualitative data using Microsoft Excel. So you can also calculate the total in order to check your calculation. So sum, press enter, S7 to S10, so 30 students, total is 30. So this is how to construct frequency distributions in Microsoft Excel. Let us review what we discussed in today's lecture. So today I introduce you to Microsoft Excel spreadsheet program, and then we discussed the basic overview of Microsoft Excel, how to do basic arithmetic in Microsoft Excel, the idea of cell references, the absolute cell references, the relative cell references, and some built-in Excel functions. Then we discussed how to construct frequency tables in Microsoft Excel. In particular, we discussed how to construct discrete frequency distribution, how to construct continuous frequency distribution, or also called grouped frequency distribution. We have also discussed how to construct frequency tables for qualitative data. So in next lecture we will discuss how to construct different types of graphs in Microsoft Excel. In particular, we will discuss how to construct bar charts, simple bar charts, multiple bar charts, component bar charts, and then we will also discuss how to construct pie charts in Microsoft Excel, and then the histograms in Microsoft Excel. We will also discuss how to activate Excel add-ins, which are short programs which we use within Excel to perform different types of additional functions. And then in particular we will discuss the data analysis Excel add-ins. So till then, Allah Hafiz.